We ready to jump back in?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the flail snail and the old guy have completely disappeared into the cave. But you do see two bodies, the two bodies of the dwarven individuals. Other than that, everything's pretty quiet.
Hmm. We should probably hurry and go after the. Well, I'll say it in character. We should hurry and finish off that snail while I can still maintain my sphere of light.
Sounds. How is
I do that.
what?
I do the things she said. I
What?
do the thing.
Oh,
So Rin just begins to rush down the tunnel.
Sorry, I keep having to mute myself because you don't want. I suspect you don't want to hear me extolling the values of scorpion pepper hot sauce.
That is true. We appreciate it.
I have no idea what he's saying right now.
He's eating something very spicy.
Oh, okay. How is he looking
And it's
in character?
very good.
In character, none of you are really looking all that hot.
Okay.
And
Except for
Rin-
Zephyr.
Rin just
Yeah.
ended his turn, right? Killing
Yes.
the other guy, right?
Yeah.
So he gets
that's
7
done.
temporary. He gets 7 temp HP.
I'm as loud as I've ever been. How dare
had
you
to-
make an assumption that I've become quieter for you?
Okay. Go ahead and continue.
All right. So Rin begins to make his way down the tunnel. I assume everyone else is following.
Liberty is following, yes.
Okay. You guys begin to make your way into the tunnel. There's a decent amount of mucus on the ground that is already beginning to solidify. You guys sometimes are occasionally leaving footprints in hardening glass. It's a very odd sensation. But from further into the cave, you can hear the jingling and chinking of crystals knocking against each other, as well as the very low, muted humming coming from the old man as he's trying to calm the flail snails.
Rin's helming this part.
Yeah, I'm just booking it. I'm gonna. I assume the old man's in front of the snail.
He's on the other side of the snail from you, yeah.
Okay, so he can't see me.
You would make that assumption?
Okay, I'm just gonna run.
Go
up
ahead and
stab the
stealth
snail in the
anyways.
back again.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth
Nat
either
20,
way.
so 30.
Jeez.
Dear Lord.
You're leaping from rock outcrop to rock outcrop, silent as ever. You're pretty sure the snail doesn't even know you're coming, and it has tremor sense.
He's prancing along like Legolas over snow.
Yes. I'm gonna stab this gastropod right in its
But
Pod?
butt.
roll me an attack with advantage.
I was trying to think of the formal name for a gastropod's foot. I couldn't.
It's Pod.
17.
That will hit. Roll me damage. You do get sneak attack.
Yes. Time for some mathematics. Let's see. If we do that, 10 plus 3 is 13. No, not plus 3 because they're immune to fire damage.
Correct.
So just 10 plus 6, 16.
You get you see the spot where you've been continually stabbing it in the back up to this point, and that spot has been pulled out of the shell a bit farther to keep it from irritating itself when it moves, exposing a more fleshy part of its body. through which you plant your rapier, a large cry is heard from the other side of the beast as it lurches forward once more and then falls limp to the ground, the shell completely blocking your path.
Wait, so it's dead?
You killed it.
Oh, hell yeah.
It had 3 HP.
I killed this motherfucker all on my own.
Pretty
I
much,
guess-
yeah.
I realize now that means that if he managed to get one more attack in before combat, that would have meant
He
we
would have
didn't
been
have to
stuck
drag
on
it
the other
all the
side.
way back here outside of the cave
Yep.
again.
Yeah.
End of your turn, you can replace the 7 with a 9. You have 9 temporary hit points.
Go ahead and that's not going to matter at the moment.
Oh, it's gonna
I
matter.
just don't know if the old guy's going to attack us or
No,
not. So
Even if the old guy doesn't attack us, I'm going to attack him.
You're going to have
Oh,
to
boy.
get to him first.
Yes, that is the issue.
He's shouting abuses at you from the far side of the snail.
That's fine.
pretend you
Princess.
don't speak common.
No inglés.
Rin, what do you plan to do with him?
Whom?
Gnome.
He's
That
not a
was not
gnome.
in character.
I said whom.
Yeah,
no,
no,
he said
I
whom.
was.
Yeah, I was gonna say you said whom. What is this identity crisis?
Clearly,
you're
one of
going
us is
through?
high at the moment. Darian's asking what you plan to do with the old guy on the other end.
Kill him.
Are we in agreement, Liberty?
At that, he begins taking off further down the tunnel.
Yeah, where the fuck's he gonna go? It's a dead end.
There
I'm gonna
was-
go
Dead
hide
end.
behind the second flail snail, and I
Yes.
don't want to fight anymore.
On the other side of the room where you first found the flail snails was another path.
How have I completely forgotten about the fact that
It's
another
been a
been a
very
couple
long
weeks.
time.
You know what?
It's you're allowed to forget a little bit.
We can blame it on the blood loss and the poison.
We're all, yeah, we've all felt better earlier.
We all
Um,
need a sandwich.
Darian hears him taking off and is just going to assume that Liberty's on board at this point because fuck everything at this point. Darian's going to burn a spell slot.
Well, first off,
You can see. Okay. What? Go ahead.
you can't see
Okay.
cast
I can't
invisibility on the snail.
because you have no dark vision.
Can the owl manage to fly around the shell?
It took over, right?
There are small openings around the top where the owl can get through. Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a legalistic question now. If I'm seeing through the bird, does it count as a spot I can see within 30 feet?
I do believe that part of the familiar thing is that you can cast spells through them, or you can
touch
use them
spells.
as an originate. Yeah, you can cast touch spells through them.
Okay. So, given that Misty Step is not a touch spell, but it's a self teleportation, how would you rule that?
Are you trying to cast Misty Step on the guy?
No, on myself
Ooh, that'd be
to.
fun.
I'm trying to phase shift through the snail. Darian's about to
You-
pursue.
Since
To a
since
point, you
you've
can
been
see through the bird.
here before, I will allow it
Okay.
because it's yes, it is a place that you can see, but it's more a place that you're aware of than anything.
Now,
Okay.
just a point of note: if you do this, you're going to be on your own because I'm out of spell slot, so I cannot Misty Step.
That's
Okay.
fine. I don't think the old man is gonna put up too much of a fight.
Famous last words from a squishy boy.
Trying to
Don't make me second guess.
famous last words from a lightning rod.
Oof.
ready for this.
Oof, that's gonna get a sound clip right there. I'm gonna make sure I notate that.
Achievement
So-
unlocked. Own worst enemy.
The blind wizard is going to continue down the tunnel that he's been through once to chase down a guy who works here.
Sounds about right.
Well, I can see through the bird, so that's
Okay, so you got
So-
your bird on your shoulder.
yeah. So
And you're seeing through your bird now. So
yes, she's gonna be a relay point. So I'm going to hearing the old man scamper off, Darian's just taking it as an all around yes.
And
Darian,
it's got 9 temp HP,
yes.
so
Darian
okay.
looks back to Rin and gives a decently wicked smile that kind of imitates Rin's own personality. And
Rin just pinches the bridge of his nose and shakes his head.
Like, no, I can do that. You can't. You don't know what
You've not
do
earned
with-
that.
okay, maybe not that tier of wicked smile, but it is a devilish smile to say the least. And he vanishes into the thinnest of air in front of you.
Okay.
Martian air?
30 feet beyond the snail, well, just subtracting whatever the size of the snail is.
Yeah.
You could hear Darian taking off with the bird on his shoulder and is going to chase down the old man and do a murder.
So Darian begins giving chase. The older man has disappeared. You begin following where he was and are very quickly coming up to the large chamber where you first found the snails.
Okay.
You hear the sound of heavy thuds on the dirt, running footfalls, heavy breathing that is quickly disappearing.
So as in he can run faster than I can? Or
More just that he's full pelting it away from you.
okay. But I can still tell where he kind of is then? Or
I mean, he's in the next room.
okay, then I'm still giving chase.
Okay. As you turn the corner, thankfully through your owl you can see. You just see the tail end of him heading up a small path on the far side of the room where you first found the flail snails. However, your attention is distracted by a large, writhing form of the other flail snail as it begins to rise from its shell and move towards you.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, now it's interested in engaging.
I am being significantly louder than you were.
I would roll for initiative, but I'm allowed. It's just the two of us. So, what are you doing in response?
Does it block my path?
It is currently doing so. Yes.
Motherfucker. I can still see the tail end of him. More or less.
It just hit the tail end of him. Just disappeared around the next corner.
Okay, but okay, so he wouldn't be too far.
You didn't have enough time to get a spell off for a sight thing.
Say again?
You didn't have enough time to get a spell off to hit him.
I could still try.
You more than welcome to try.
How far ahead would he be? At least to the corner.
About 55 to 60 feet.
That's plenty. I cast Fireball and aim it all the way down to the corner.
Jacob's eyes just got so wide.
You know, a crossbow bolt may have your name on it, but a fireball is addressed to whom it may concern.
Fireball is addressed to the name to the neighborhood.
Okay. Huh. Give me a minute. There are a lot of logistics here. First off, Jesse and Forge,
Yes.
roll me
Yes.
d20s real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
Because I need extra people rolling for me.
Okay.
That's a 15 from
11.
Achievement unlocked. Oh shit.
D&D is a competition, and you win by being the first one to get the DM to say...
fuck.
I have yet to do so good luck.
Can
Is it-
say it, but
Is
chooses
achievement
not to.
IE or EI?
I
IE,
before
right?
E except after C.
That applies to
IE.
so few rules, though.
I was about to say English does not follow that rule,
It
but I
doesn't.
do
Unless you're
believe it
running a
does apply
fight-
in this scenario.
I think technically it only applies to like maybe 10% of
Unless
the
you're
words.
running a
Yeah, weird.
What is it? A something heist with a feisty heist with your beige neighbor.
No, stop that.
Or when sounding like A as a neighbor in
Okay,
Rogue.
so first off, what are the rolls, real quick, Jesse?
11.
Forge.
15.
Okay.
I swear, if I die to this,
Oh no!
The snail is
No,
caught
no,
up in the
it's not.
blast.
Remember, there was a brood. There was a brood. You killed all the
brood
babies.
is also caught up in the blast.
Oh boy.
not the one directly in front of me,
snail
right?
does actually
Did the babies
succeed on
get
the saving
advantage?
throw. The babies don't even
Did
get
the
it.
babies get advantage
It's
on their saving
just
throw?
it's a pile of eggs.
Oh dang it! I didn't know how old they were.
Forge.
You just finding me mode. You freaking barracuda.
Forge.
Yes.
Roll me a d6.
There's gonna be one surviving baby flail snail, and it's gonna have one flail that's
It's a
smaller than
six.
all of his other flails.
That's a 6.
Yep.
Would it be one or would it
Okay.
be half of them?
Do one. Because they have dorsal fins too.
Okay.
Or the
So
clownfish have
here's
dorsal
what
fins.
happens. Roll me damage for the fireball.
Oh, I'm gonna need to open. I need to open that 12-pack of D6. Hold on. 8 of them? 8 of them.
Do you believe so? Yeah.
All right. So we've got 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16, 20, 28.
28. Okay. You hear a scream from around the corner as someone burns to death.
Got him.
The shell of the flail snail, it does take some of the damage, first off. But the shell begins to pull in a large amount of the fireball's energy.
Oh god.
And I need you to make a
This is
constitution
bad.
saving throw.
Boy,
A Constitution saving throw. Okay.
concern for squishy wizard boy intensifies.
Oh, 18.
Good.
Oh.
Good.
Thank you, metal die.
So you take half damage.
What did I say the damage was? 28?
No, not from the spell. From something else.
Okay.
Thankfully, it's not even half as bad as Fireball. Thankfully, Forge rolled a 6 and not a 1.
You're welcome.
So thankfully,
I can't tell if that's sarcasm or not, because I don't know how his methods are working right now.
you take
That was not.
2 points of force damage as a bright light erupts from the shell. And yeah, that's the last of it. The room begins to crumble around you.
Oh, fuck.
With the combined effort of a fireball cast in a cave and the concussive force of the shell's reply, you are already seeing large stones begin to and just showers of sand spewing from the landing. Run.
Hey, I have
Oh,
a
it's
question.
time to go. It's time
Actually,
to go.
I have multiple questions.
Okay.
Hey, can we say that as soon as Jarian teleported, I gestured to Boy Wonder and to help me start dragging the snail out of the
he is helping you. It's taking a lot.
Okay.
The shell itself is around 550 to 600 pounds.
Yep. Next question. Darian, you have spell slots left, right? Because how are you going to get past? Because how are you going to get past this snail?
I'm assuming that snail is still in front. Oh, so you mean your snail? Got it.
Yes.
I have ways. Don't worry.
Okay. Just checking.
I
Okay.
actually have a decently prepared spell for this. It's kind of
Or
nice.
you can just get behind and push. Like, we need to get
So
this.
my next question well, I guess it wouldn't be my next question, it'd be my first question. From their perspective, rumbling, the cave above them crumbling, yes?
Yeah, no, you don't know. What are you doing?
That's fine. That's fair. I'm running. I'm assuming that
Okay.
snail was still in front of me, so I don't have to get past that one, right?
Yeah, no, you have no trouble getting back out the way you came other than the falling rubble.
Book
Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw as you begin to navigate the falling rubble.
Okay. I'm still poisoned, so that means I'm at disadvantage still.
Not for saving throws, just attack rolls and ability checks.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that is I guess that is different.
As long as that's
Yeah.
Okay. 12.
okay. You will take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as a few rocks come on. Dang it, Jacob. As a few rocks fall on the back of your head, but you are not knocked unconscious as you continue running.
Okay, how much farther do I have?
As you run, during this next round, you are just you turn a corner and you see through your owl's eye the shell of the previous flail snail that appears to be moving.
The one that Rin killed?
Yes.
It's moving. Oh, because they're dragging it. Okay. That would make more sense.
But that reaction sounded pretty on brand, though.
Yeah, no kidding. So that puts me how far from the shell?
You're about 20 feet behind.
Okay, 20 feet should be fine. That should be okay. Can I tell from where I am whether or not that section of the cave is stable?
Make a survival check.
Okay. Ability checks are a disadvantage.
Yes.
That is a 3 plus whatever my survival is, which is a 3, so a 6. I don't have a clue.
You have no idea. There is dust in your eyes. There are rocks falling around you. Yeah. Rin, on your end, you guys are about 15 feet from the tunnel and everything is beginning to rumble. You are just going double speed from what I can tell.
Yeah, we're just kind of booking it.
All right. I will say that you guys are probably moving at half of your full speed, moving it together, because not only is the shell itself like 600 pounds, the snail inside is like double that. So it's a lot to move.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's slimy, so it's sliding.
Thank God.
But yeah, Darian, what are you doing?
Damn, it does say humanoid. Otherwise, Anime Dead was about to become very, very clutch. Wakey, wakey, time for shaking.
Go, 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 go!
Time to move.
Oh gosh. Okay. Second question, which might require, I don't know, some sort of knowledge check or something, but mold earth. Can I brace the cave structurally?
Mold earth. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like anything like that. So most of what mold earth is either loose earth, or in this case, what might help is the making it into difficult terrain. But even then, you're not. To make a buttress out of this, you'd need actually stone shape, or what is it called? There's a different spell for this.
Yeah.
That's specifically for this. Is it
It's-
stone
it's-
shape?
I think
Yeah,
stone
it's
shape
stone.
is the one you're thinking of.
Okay, that's what I said, but it didn't sound right for some reason.
It just said
Probably
I
because
was
it's-
thinking along the lines of I could make a wall that at least is something.
Yeah, no, you can't do that with this spell.
That's fine. Creativity. That's
Yeah,
why
no,
it's here.
Yeah.
Yep.
20 feet is probably fine. What do I still have in terms of slots? I've got a third, I've got a second, and I've got 2 first. Not gonna be helpful. Okay, none of my firsts are helpful. I could use my third, which will be interesting to say the least.
Rain, go ahead and make a strength check for me. Athletics, if that helps any.
It does not, but I appreciate the effort. 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna. It's 20 feet. That shouldn't be terrible. I'm going to move forward the 20 feet, and then try and start pushing on the shell.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check yourself.
Natural 1 because of disadvantage. Fuck.
Okay.
me, man.
You guys begin pushing, and all of a sudden, Forge, for Rin on the other side, absolutely nothing's changed. But you guys continue pushing, and from behind you, Darian, you can already feel the gusts of wind that are blowing out of the cave from the displacement of the rocks and air. You guys push and push your hardest. Go ahead and give me one more strength roll from the group.
Oh, group.
You know what? I'm just rolling the metal one because the metal one
Not
is
you,
not...
Liberty. You're not in there
Oh.
helping.
I mean, I followed the guys down. But...
I really wish I didn't have disadvantage because that's a 20. That's a 12. Plus whatever
To
my
be fair.
bonuses are.
my strength isn't that useful anyway.
I don't have a
so-
buff to my strength.
Fair
It's a
enough.
flat 0. So it's a 12.
Obviously, neither is Darian's. What is yours, Rin?
Natural 20
Or
or natural 1?
It's a natural something.
Oh, honey. I rolled a 17.
It's
You're
a
not
nat
there
1.
helping. Oh boy. Well,
I mean,
thankfully,
I was right at the, but honestly, it's probably true that Liberty is not helping with the snail because 1's tight space in the tunnel, and 2, she's so done.
Zephyr
she
did
said-
Oh yeah,
get
it's fine.
a
Sit there.
Zephyr did get a 19.
No,
all in
I'm
all.
walking,
Thank heaven.
and I'm
So with everything together, you guys barely push the shell out. Darian, you will take 4 more points of damage from falling stones. But as you guys clear the entrance of the cave, it all begins at the last bit of large crumbling rocks begin to settle. A lot of dust is poured out from the cave entrance and from a few other cave entrances that you can see from the side of the cliff, but you are all alive somehow.
Oh. So, just to clarify, my initial thought was more along the lines of a backdraft. Because I would think that casting a fireball in a tunnel would cause more of a backdraft effect where it just kind of funnels into wherever path it's in its way rather than a shockwave. But with the shell, that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, fireball is an explosion.
Noted.
Also, those caves were specifically think volcanic, where
Okay.
sometimes the walls are just thin. It wasn't a super strong cave to begin with.
Okay, so paper wasp.
A bit thicker than that, but yes.
Yes, but so to speak. Great. All right, we're alive. Woo. I'm actually still at 16 out of. I'm actually still at just like 1 point under half health. So thank goodness for 98 attempts.
You guys have succeeded in cultivating a shell. Well, killing the thing inside the shell.
Yep. After we pull the shell out, Liberty's just going to walk off a few paces and sit down, pull out her book, and start meditating, reading some devotionals, and trying to regain her center.
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
It's different. There's more. We're not gonna kill them. We're not gonna kill them. But yeah, no, she's just gonna walk away from the group, turn her back to the guys, sit down and read her book.
Fair enough. What are the guys doing?
Bryn is sitting there trying not to cough up blood as he tries to bandage himself up.
Yeah.
Now that the shell is finally
spells.
clear of the cave, Darian could walk past it and get out, and he's hunched over with his hands on his knees just a little bit. He's out of a bit of a thrill ride for the moment. What's Zephyr looking up to?
He is very interested in the flail snail at the moment.
Could you elaborate?
He has realized that if he stretches the tentacles in a particular way, that it makes the barbs pop out at the end of the flail.
He's doing that thing where you have like a dead animal and the kids are like figuring out what happens when you pull this tendon and poke that muscle.
He's doing the thing
No,
that-
it's the
he's
scene
doing
from
things
Bugs
people do.
Life with the two roly
The
polies.
When they get the antennae
He has
and they're just
the
pulling
antenna.
and making a puppet.
He's doing the thing people do when they realize that there's a weaponizable.
What does he say? Mushy mushy.
Say again, Forge?
He's doing the thing right now where he's discovering that there's something weaponizable about this dead thing in front of him.
As any barbarian, possibly mixed multi-class would.
So you guys all begin to kind of collect yourselves after this. I assume that you would like to take a short rest.
Yes.
That would be good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You
I
guys
would
spend
like
a
to
little
not
bit of
bleed out.
time. Go ahead and mark your short rest. Just to kind of recenter yourselves.
Time to spend some hit die.
Yeah, definitely spend some hit
short rest
dice.
is at the top. Here we go. How many d6 do I have? Let's find out. I'm just gonna roll until I'm happy. That's 2. That's 3. Wow, okay. 3 of them is 12, and 12 sounds good. Take short rest. Confirm. Alright.
Back at max health.
I
Good job.
don't think I've used Arcane Recovery, so I'm going to go ahead and do that.
I believe that would be correct.
Up to level 3 combined. I'm just going to recover level 3.
So you guys begin to patch your wounds, take some rest, recollect yourselves. Zephyr is now chopping off a few of the tentacles and trying to attach them to a stick.
Are there sticks out
Sorry.
here?
Yeah, there are
Sorry.
the handles to pickaxes.
Hold on. Counterpoint. Hey, Hobbit, do you think he could attach it to the other end of his great axe?
No, that's an aesthetic.
Counterpoint. Hey DM, could I just tie one on the end of my tail?
I mean, technically, yeah.
I'm not
Okay,
going
but Hobbit,
to,
you are
but it'd be
catching
a
the
Gonna
joke
do?
here,
We
right?
got no idea.
I'm not going to, but it'd be a pretty hilarious thing to do.
Hobbit, please tell me you're catching the joke that I'm sending your way.
Oh gosh, no.
The sickle?
Freaking, we had a dwarf with a great axe who wanted to attach a sickle to the bottom handle of his great axe, and we're like, that's not gonna improve your weapon quality at all. It's not like you have a new cool dual-bladed thing. That's not how that weapon works. He didn't understand why all of the blacksmiths he'd come across were not cooperative. They're all like, it's a dumb idea.
He really wanted it, and like, I'm like, dude, even I can't think of a way to like make it work because
You're
DM...
more likely to lose fingers or stab yourself with a sickle blade. While
Exactly,
using the axe
and
head.
that was the
Yeah.
DM's point. I'm like, dude, I can't even figure out a way to flavor this to where it works. He's like, I'm like, you gotta abandon. It's not gonna work.
If it was a spear
Yeah.
and it wasn't a sickle, I can
Right?
almost see it working.
Yeah,
Because like
Even
ancient
then.
ancient Greece had dual-bladed spears.
sure.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, but their spears weren't bladed; they had points.
But it was
Right.
also like a maul, like it was like a great weapon, and I think at one point eventually he came. It's like, well, I could put a sickle on the top head. I'm like, you're looking for a halberd, and that would still
That's-
not be very efficient.
Well, or a scythe.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the most you could do, not being a sickle, is you could do like a halberd type thing, and instead of like a pommel for the
Exactly.
base, you put a morning star head.
Yeah, that would work. It would still be cumbersome and you'd probably hit your phone bone way too many times, but like it would work.
No, it'll be heavy, but it would work.
Yeah. So that was the joke. I'm glad I got to walk everyone through that one.
Yeah.
It
So,
was
yeah.
a great source of enjoyment for a handful of sessions as he tried.
You guys finish up your long rest a bit more collected than before.
Long rest?
Short.
Correct.
Okay.
Get back.
I was like,
No.
Get.
You said long rest, and I'm saying like, oh, I'll take a long rest.
I mean, if
No,
you
we
want
can
to
go long
take
rest
a long
where
rest,
the
we could
workers are
have
gonna
combat
find
with the denizens
I
of
don't-
the town as well.
I don't want to explain to the denizens of the town why we're standing in front of a collapsed tunnel with a dead snail
You're no
and
fun.
2 dwarf bodies.
Yeah. I will
Don't
say
patronize
that
me.
prior to taking a nice proper sit down, as Darian was catching his breath with his hand on his knees, he's definitely chuckling to himself. And he's looking over at Rin for a reaction. To see what
for
his reaction is.
Reaction to what?
Everything. The fireball in the cave, the murdering of people.
Well, Rin doesn't know yet that there was a fireball. He just knows that the cave started collapsing and that Darian came booking it back the other direction.
Okay, question as someone
Isn't that
who's
enough context,
proficient in
though, for you to
insight-
have something to say?
As someone who's proficient in insight, does this sound like there was something actually amusing, or does this sound like the stress laugh of like, we survived? This has
Both.
been a
There is
terrible
elements of
day.
both, and they are both very obvious.
I
Okay.
think Rin's reaction right now is, what the actual... What did you do?
Do?
No, he doesn't say that, though.
I
Oh,
was
no, I know what
minding
he
my
says.
own
Dialogue.
business.
It's D&D. It's a role-playing game.
What?
That's true.
So, what did you do?
Do you remember the... I'm trying to remember how I phrased it last time. Do you remember the dad joke I said earlier on the carriageway ride up?
No.
About how
I'm
fireball
sorry.
is a well-rounded spell.
Now I'm regretting remembering, but yes.
Well, I know that I got him. I'm gonna say that wheezy laugh at the end was definitely in character too.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming that at this point.
Rin's just shaking his head. I worry about you sometimes.
I feel like we all worry about each other just a little bit. That's no, wait, because that was before the short rest. So then, yeah, so Darian's gonna He's gonna lay back down in the sand again, but he's gonna chuckle to himself periodically. Partially from amusement, partially from a lot of stress.
Liberty is recopying a page about the virtues of patience.
Fair enough. Zephyr is trying to swing the flail around. At one point in time, you do hear a meaty thunk as he doubles over and holds his forehead, and then throws the makeshift ball and chain into the lake.
Rin has finished bandaging himself up and has started doing this weird sort of. It's a mix between a kata and a dance and a series of stretches. That his for lack of a better word, assassin master taught him.
Okay.
Called
Yoga break.
I'm assuming this is like some form of like kind of like taekwondo stretching.
Not really. It's really more of a dance.
Tai Chi
than
is the word I'm looking for.
It's really more adjacent to dance.
Okay.
Nice.
It is called the Dance of Death, and it is used as an exercise to refine your motor control skills and your reflexes, and make sure you're loose and fully flexible and that sort of thing. And he's doing that.
Okay.
Nice.
So, do we put this whole thing on the cart? Do we carve out the beast inside?
We could.
I'd say we take the whole thing. Worst comes to worst, more to sell.
More to carry as well.
Yeah, the horses are carrying it, not us.
We have to
Let's
get them to
try
the
to get the whole thing on the cart. We'll decide if, based on whether or not we can. If we can, we could decide whether or not to start carving it out on the way. I don't want to be here too much longer. We've clearly attracted some attention.
Yeah, a small earthquake will do that.
Amongst other things. Speaking
like
of
a fireball.
He kind of like says, speaking of which, to himself, and has already like wandered off and is trying to start burying the bodies with mold earth.
Okay,
when he
that's
makes
easy
that comment, when he makes the comment
I
about
loot them first.
other things as well.
Investigation
fine.
check. When he makes that comment.
When he makes that comment about yes and other things, there's just a voice from the background. Remove this smugness from your tone, or I will remove it for you.
Dirty 20.
It's nothing personal. She just had to deal with that smug bastard, and now she's got.
You cut out.
Darian, is there?
The smug bastard and what?
She's had to deal with the smug dwarf, and so it's just that you're smug. It's not that Darian doesn't have a right to be smug. It's just no smugness right now.
Fair enough. Also, on that note, I'm pretty confident that the title drop is going to be Desolation of Smug.
I hate that. I love that.
I don't hate it.
On the other hand,
you're welcome.
Forge. Rin finds a total of 6 heavy crossbow bolts.
Okay.
Each of which are dipped in a semi-clear viscous gelatin.
Hold on, give me a sec. Manage equipment.
You're giving the assassin poison.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, naturally.
First I hit you with it, then you get to have it.
Crossbow bolt.
That's how I always treat my little brother, too.
Also understandable. I feel like that's like an arcane trickster's motto too. Since they
What?
First I hit
spell thief.
you with it, then you can have it.
One of my favorite memes for that very niche subcategory of rogue is when like the BBEG wizard uses counterspell and the arcade trickster just smiles.
No, high level arcane tricksters have is it called Spell Thief?
It is spell thief, which means if they see a spell, it's a monkey see, monkey do.
Oh, that's mine now.
So, Forge, for you.
Yes.
There are 2 heavy crossbows on the characters, if you want to take one of those, so you can fire these. The poison on the tips, taking a second to look it over, I do believe that you are proficient with a poisoner's kit.
I am.
Yep. The stats for these are a DC 14 Constitution saving throw. On one of the bodies, looking through it, all in all, probably about what culminates at about 50 gold pieces. And a letter that appears to be written in some either strange language or code.
So it isn't Thieves' Cant.
It is not Thieves' Cant.
Okay.
Thieves'
And it's
Cant
not
is pretty strictly spoken, not written.
Mm-hmm. And it's not Undercommon?
It's none of the languages you know.
No.
Do conditions eventually wear off?
I'll keep that.
I do believe, yeah, no, your poison effect will go away when you take a long rest.
Okay. I just remembered that theirs didn't because Demon Dog.
Yeah, no, the Demon Dog had a specific thing. Yours goes away with a long rest.
Thank you.
But you haven't taken a long rest yet. So.
Of course. Does Rin want to ask for help with looking over things?
I think I got everything.
Well, you found a note that you can't translate. Maybe I can read it.
Well, it's coded.
Also, is he sharing any of that gold?
He's not gonna share it until someone asks for it. So I'm assuming Darian was there and saw him.
Yeah,
Picking
since I'm
stuff
kind
up.
of burying
So
them
you-
where they are, and you're next. I would figure that you're next to me, pilfering.
So Rin's take is if people ask for their cut, he'll share it. If not, then it's his.
I gotta say, I love that mentality. Darian will ask if you found anything good when you seem to be wrapping up.
Gold, a letter. He holds up one of the crossbows. One of these.
What is the letter?
He holds it out towards you.
Darian takes it and starts looking it over. And
yeah.
Do I know it? Do I read it?
You don't know this language or code.
Okay. Darian fixates on it for a bit and mulls it over and eventually shakes his head slightly and said, I don't know this language. He hands it back. Are we splitting that amongst everyone, or do you intend to keep that?
You can.
Okay. We don't have to now. I just was curious as to what your decision was.
Well, I found 40. I found 40 gold, so that's 10 each.
Wonderful. It's nice when things divvy up nicely. How far out of earshot are we from everyone?
I mean, if you whispered, probably they wouldn't hear you.
Okay. Rin, you are an asshole.
Yes, and
But you are a competent asshole. And
I've read this
we
many
have had
times.
our differences, but I feel that we have done a pretty decent job of watching another's back. If we could come to an arrangement where you are a bit more cooperative, I will reciprocate. Does this sound agreeable?
He's trying.
Fuck you!
Fuck you! Shut up! You're undermining my efforts. Rin sits there quiet. The tip of his tail is kind of flicking from side to side. I do not like the way you conduct yourself.
And how would you classify that?
Reckless, bullheaded, and foolish.
I see.
I make a point of being the loudest one in the room, because when you're the loudest, they don't expect you to ever try and be the quietest.
I see your point. Would
You draw attention to yourself even when you're not trying to, which makes you a liability. Additionally, I don't approve of the way you treat your children.
Darian?
You may think that it's necessary to live in the city, but I disagree.
At the mention of his children,
That is your prerogative. I have no say over it. However, I don't agree with it.
Darian's position changes.
You've
to a more
proven yourself.
Motherfucker.
Go ahead. What'd you say? Say
You're
your
doing
thing.
it on purpose.
Say
I know you are. When Rin mentions his children, his demeanor stiffens a bit, and he asks you to what you mean by that in regarding them.
Oh, it was the whole spiel that Rin just rattled off.
No, he said he didn't like the way he treats his children.
Yeah, and then he said after that.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and repeat what he said after that, because I think
God,
Because you
I
said
can't-
about living in the city.
He said,
Yes.
You may think that it's necessary for living in the city, but I don't.
that the like the whole like charade you do
Oh,
is necessary.
for living in the city. Okay,
Yes.
I thought you.
Yes.
Okay,
Um,
I was seeing that as you think it's necessary to live in the city, and I
No,
was not following that at all.
No, you think that the way like the little charade that you're doing with your kids is necessary for living in the city. Rin disagrees, but obviously he also doesn't really have a say in the matter. You've proven yourself to be trustworthy at the very least. So it will stop most of the antagonism.
I appreciate that. I suppose that growing up, I've seen, I don't know how to phrase things, and it kills me half the time.
You know, you know how Tigger sits in Winnie the
No.
Pooh?
I
He'll lean back and like kind of sit on his like use his tail as a
Yes.
chair.
Yeah.
Rin is coiled his tail underneath him and is sort of leaning back on it like it's a chair or a stool.
see, to me that just sounds painful.
Yeah.
that's because
You're
you
not
don't have a
bored.
tail.
Touche. I suppose you have a point. Growing up, I had seen the rougher side of the way that your kind and tabaxi are treated.
You don't
Yeah,
say. He
especially-
said, motioning to his entire self.
Quite. In the city in particular, those who hold opinions such as mine don't tend to stick around very long, either of their own desires or others solving that for them.
And yet I've managed to survive, and I live almost exclusively in cities, which shows you that there might be more to it than you've seen.
And for that, you do have my respect.
There's more than one way to do things, and you need to stop being so bullheaded enough as to listen to other takes on situations.
You are right. That I will agree to. I see you nodding over there in the corner, DM.
I'm appreciating that good points are being made. Sue me.
Fair enough. I do. I have worked the way that I have worked because I thought it was the best way of doing them. I don't really have people walking up to my door suggesting alternatives. I mean,
Have you
times have
asked?
definitely changed. When I grew up, a tabaxi running a bookshop, let alone owning one, would cause many problems. That might not be as much of the case now.
Have you asked? Did you ever ask your... what is his fucking name? I keep forgetting his
Saphir?
Tiefling lads. It's Saphir, thank you. All throughout the night, I keep spacing on what his name is.
The one that I call you half the time?
Yes, exactly.
That's part of the
Never
problem.
Fear what he
It-
wants to do.
Truly.
Because it seems to me he'd make a pretty damn good mercenary. Amongst many other things. If he got the proper training, he'd make a hell of a guard. Have you ever put a weapon in his hands and asked him if he wanted to use it?
He has accompanied me in rougher parts of town a few times. I'm sure you will get a laugh when I say that my concern is him being reckless. He looks for fights. Yeah.
Yes, because that's his outlet, and he doesn't have one. It's like a teapot. Eventually it'll boil over.
I have
Give him something to do, and you might find he mellows out quite a bit.
I have tried to keep the tea from boiling over.
And it's working very well.
This I will agree with. Perhaps a conversation for another time, but perhaps you would be interested in training him, maybe helping him.
I have connections.
Darian nods understandingly, and well, we should probably get going.
As you wish.
So the bodies have been buried and looted. The horse is brought. The horse and cart that I tried to put in one word for some reason are brought by Zephyr.
And your homework got turned in!
The heart.
And you guys are able to try to load the flail snail and its shell on the two-wheeled cart.
Liberty will help with this part.
Oh, thank
Okay.
heavens for that.
I will need athletics checks from everyone.
Query.
Disadvantage.
Using my limited engineering knowledge, can we cheat and make a fulcrum to try and get ourselves advantage on this athletics check?
Remind me what a fulcrum is.
Balancing
You've got a
point.
board and a pivot point, and if you get a fulcrum and an anchor point big enough, you can move the world. If you ask Archimedes,
Like a lever.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
You're somewhat smart sometimes.
Every now and then.
Can I help him with that once I
He's
realize what he's
he's
doing?
smart
14.
enough to
14.
I'll say that you can definitely lower the DC with a rudimentary fulcrum. The limiting factor in this point is the stony beach and how loose it is, as opposed to anything but. But
is a
yeah,
plus.
athletics checks from everyone.
Yeah, disadvantage, so 5.
Correct. Oof.
I don't have
Why do
any
you have to-
modifier to it.
Why do you have disadvantage?
I'm
Because
poisoned.
he's still
Poisoned.
poisoned.
Oh, 15 for me.
Okay.
6.
Zephyr got a 16. With all of that, you guys barely get it up onto the cart. That sinks into the stones, the stony beach, a few inches, and the creaking is audible.
This will hold together, right?
You have the repair spell, don't you? You're a wizard.
I do not, actually.
Well, this will be interesting.
I believe
A what spell?
Repair.
I can mend things. It takes about a minute or so, and it depends on the size of the object and the size of the damage. But
Well, let's hope that that'll be enough, and that we don't
Right.
break an axle on the way there.
I'll drive the cart. You two get some rest.
Welcome to Cordyza Trail, a game
Rin,
where you try to get across the desert
You have died of
as a
dysentery.
group.
Is it
By the
night-
time I was gonna say, by the time the wizard climbs into the cart, he's already died of dysentery.
I mean, if you have
Is
you
it-
played
is it
Oregon
not-
Trail, because it will happen like before you get 20 feet out the door.
All right, go ahead, Forge.
Is it nighttime?
It is still nighttime, yes.
Rin walks up and hangs it. No one's quite sure where he got it, but he pulls a lantern out and hangs it on the hook for the cart, sort of light the way. And then
It's really
DM, you
only
want-
for the horses.
like a perception check or something.
For what?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay,
I
go
want
ahead.
to see. I want to see if they see what Rin does next.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check as Rin.
And it'll just be against our
Which-
passives.
Yeah, it's just against your passive.
That is 23.
Okay,
Oh, fuck.
what are you doing?
Yeah, no, we don't
Oh.
see it.
Rin vanishes into the lantern.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Rin
How is that a sleight of
sets-
hand check if his entire body disappears?
Rin sets up the lantern. It's either sleight of hand check or a stealth check. Literally, it's the same modifier for him. So,
Fair enough.
Rin sets up the lantern on the side of the cart, and then you see him walk away, and you don't see him after that.
We're already riding, right?
I assume. Wait, is that when you do this?
I'll have like leaned forward once the cart sort of got underway.
Okay.
Okay. So honestly, Liberty probably wouldn't have even noticed because she's focusing on the road.
Yeah, you guys probably aren't even noticing that he's absent. There's a giant thing in the back of the cart, and you're more worried about the axle than you are about where Rin went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.